It's a 9/11, and there's a rustling coming around there, around from the corner. Something is rustling around my room. And I said, "Get out of here, Satan. Get your fucking ass out of my room. Ain't got time for this shit." And he's like, "No." I'm like, "Listen to me, you son of a bitch. I'm the best there's ever been." I'm just playing. It's a very interesting day. A few days, past day, today, the other day. We were nearly killed in the car today. I had exploded the egg of destruction. We went to the store. I had set the alembic of the Philosopher's Stone. The I believe it was a pear. The pear was hollow. It was hard. It was a pear. It looked like an egg. It was hard. It was brown. I painted it black. I took this upper guardian and I had it at the base of the tree in the front. Struck by lightning. That is a power spot. And I placed the egg there. And I let it connect with the earth at that place, connected it in. We had to go to the store today because I, although I'm not a smoker, had ran out of tobacco, and I had to request this ride before the jonesing started kicking in of my addiction to need that nicotine, yo. So I chew a little bit of tobacco, and it calms me the fuck down. So what? Will my jaw blow off? Um, I hope, man. But it's funny that I saw a video about that. See, there was this some mad scientist once upon a time. This is a very disturbing story, though. He was making some sort of explosive. He had two containers, like you have those little what do you call them? Used to know them. It's like a Tupperware container, and he had in sugar one, some powdered sugar. The other, he had this explosive. He was making it. He was working on it. One day, I was just chewing some gum. See where this is going, right? He would. He got the idea. Well, the gum had lost its flavor, so he thought, he had this powdered sugar. He was just gonna dip this fucking chewed up gum in the powdered sugar, just rock and roll, just chew it on up. But he didn't do the labels right, or didn't label them at all. And he put this gum in this explosive powder he was making. He went to chewing on it, and his fucking jaw just blew the fuck off, exploded in his mouth, and he died of shock. He died of fucking shock, and I thought about that. It's like, wow, that's fucked up. You see the guy's head without the jaw, tongue's probably just fucking wagging out. Um, when the energy connector there, you're supposed to put your tongue on your upper palate, and you connect your energy systems going. Just like when you connect the tips of your hands, you have an energy circuit. So he blew that circuit out, and the shock from that killed him. Which, I mean, I understand, but you don't always die from shock. Sometimes you just go into shock. Yeah, I don't think he was that. Probably must have been a great inventor if he had made some fantastic explosive powder that he didn't immediately taste as sugar. He should have been really concerned before he started chewing. But who knows? Maybe people throw their gum in their mouth and just blow themselves up. It was a really disturbing story, though. Anyway, so I took this egg to the store with us. Father was getting very angry. He hasn't fully processed his anger. And I try to tell him, because he gets angry and starts throwing stuff around. There's like a little area where he can take that and transform that. transform it. He's got to willingly do it. And I try not to push him too much because this is something, it doesn't matter if you're old, if you're young, and new, and it's not even like it's me telling him this. It's coming from upstairs. It's just known. I'm having to do it too with my shit because I'll tendency to throw a fit and all this. But I went with this egg and I had the I call it an egg. He had told me that there was probably some ants in it or something ate the fruit and they're inside there dead. So I just believed that. I was sure. I saw the ants in there. I shake it. It had something in there. Rattled. And no, it was seeds. It's wonderful. I exploded it in my hand because he started jerking us around in the car. He was pissed off about something. But it really was, let me tell you, it really was. When we weren't father and son when we were young, he would have whooped my ass at some point in time. He would have known, we'd have known each other in a different way. It's later life now. We've come together. He won't put his hands on me. I won't put my hands on him. We don't fight. We get along. But his anger, he doesn't understand me because that time puts us out of step. And in a way, he does, but in a way he doesn't. I have a different relationship with God. Because, and maybe this is the weird curse, but not a curse, blessing and not a blessing, because it actually, like today is the 17th, just like the other day on the 15th, I began to celebrate his birthday. It was a day for him. Like tomorrow will be a day for him too because he's a blue hand, and it's the final tale of this magnetic eagle wave. And a lot of things about the eagle and the 7 embedding arrow is that the eagle's claws at the very end of the eagle is going to be the talons. You see the transformation? The eagle claw. He is a blue hand. I'm a white magnetic wizard. Tomorrow's going to be that day, and it's getting closer. Now, when we have this day after that, where it's going to be yellow magnetic star. That's a magnetar. Those are some of the most powerful things in the universe. See where I'm going with this? I feel a transformation coming because the cup of the iniquity is full here. I may have already said this in this video, but like I said, well, like Zeph said, I was listening to Zeph, and I really like Zeph. Zeph used to have a show on here, and he's keenly perspective. He's very keen. He was narrating nearly my whole experience the other night, and was having the, but his perspective had areas of shadow where you could have just laid what he was saying over to my experience. Except I haven't done any hits out on anybody. Not had to murder anyone. Just hadn't had to do it. Hadn't done it. Not saying it wouldn't have to be necessary or someone to bring aggressive, deadly force against me. But I'm just saying I don't have to do that. In fact, I don't think anyone needs to do that. I think we've had our lessons. We've come here. We've come to open our heart or not. We've come to make the choice to live in our heads or our hearts. And this ruling class that's going to have everyone get gene therapy and tell them it's a vaccination and lose their immune system probably in 10 to 5 years completely and die. And whoever they keep alive by doing their gene therapy programs, introducing new proteins into the cell to do different jobs, you're not going to be human anymore. You know that. Now, I understand a lot of people are high risk. I'm high risk. I got to get this and this and that and the other. But we have a person that comes over, and they're like a key. They're definitely. It's a woman. She comes for her husband. She's gonna go get tested for lupus, and we're at the decision point of not. They're gonna decide not to have that. You know, and she showed her vulnerabilities where she believed that about this whole stuff, and it just came out to be like, look, you can decide. You know, there was a job that her husband had, and he's a very nice guy. You know, and one of these times I went there to talk to him. You know, there was one of these videos that was on here. It was a vision for the future, and like sort of in the programmed way, he looked at me real strange. He had a different look in his eye, and he was like, "Remember, there's going to be a new vision for the future." And I just watched this. I don't think he got it from that. And you know, there's a lot of programming. People get into altered states all the time, and they'll communicate something to you. It doesn't mean it's always bad. It's just sometimes if it's automated, you're not accessing your programming. You know, that's embedded within your DNA, and then you have it embedded in us by culture and all that shit. In a way, I've cracked the code to it's where it definitely affects my life. We run programs. We're human beings. We're biological vessels containing a soul, spirit body complex. We're a tripart being. Number one. So as the configuration is going to change, and there is going to be a graduation. These rulers, whatever they were serving, the dark entities, whatever they were giving them, is going to be returned back to us. Those of us who have been trained our whole life not to use our powers that we knew we had early on to do harm or unfair advantage in the world. We were to learn how to be human, feel, and we have the power. So it's being called to use because we have a higher self perspective. And I just keep getting these messages from my higher self that this is not, they did not pass their test. They're not going to do these things like they think. And most of this is the test to see how it was going to go. You're going to have the world of the mind choosers become the eighth sphere and be destroyed in a continual hell. If they get off of that, I'm not sure. The eighth sphere is a very interesting concept, but it's definitely a thing. It's like a technological synthesized sphere of dwelling. I don't think it's the newest sphere. The newest sphere is the advancing, evolving human to Earth neural atmospheric layer kicking in. Now, see, they've tried to spray and they've tried to interact all this stuff in the sky and put the grid and all that stuff, but that's not organic, and that's not going to work. But you know, they need to hijack the world. They need to synthesize, or they have to bend the creation. They don't get to create. The problem with the dark side is without the heart, you don't get to actually create. You can manipulate all you want, but you're not able to create. And you have to go through the middle path of the heart. So you don't even have your pivot point in your fucking full 7 spectrum. You don't have your pivot point. And what in the hell? It's like they tell you in the practice of ritual magic, if you have no earth to stand upon, from where would you direct your force of will? You have to have that first place, and if you don't think your middle place, your heart, you have these 3 basic whirlwind paths, and that's along the line. But you know, there's a lot of, once you up down, left, right, BA start, you cross all those emotions of 7 into 1, Mr. Dan Winters, I liked what he said. He said that's called the consumed perspective. It's in the Shakespeare stuff, a lot of different stuff. I've been experiencing these things. I didn't have the language for it, but I mean these things are going on because you're like you get information through your heart, and you're doing the work to transfer your heart. You're seeing the other person, and it's you, and you are working your heart, and it's not your mind. The oldest traditions say that we are supposed to be thinking with our heart. Do you think from your heart? But you can. It's a whole different thing. Not saying that I've transformed my perceptions yet, but I'm getting some severe, like affirmations and downloads are going back up and forth. They're going up, they're going down, and my be knowing is kicking in because certain things I just know. Like today, we're watching these shows, and I've been watching the shows in my dad's room, like Stargate and the Star Trek episodes, sort of like they're navigational, uh, like road signs as we are going through time, because those shows pretty much have some of the most advanced shit being disclosed in there, and embedded within them is a deeper, higher truth, and then Mandela effect on top of it. So it begins to shift and alter in different ways. Well, you have this one reality where it's at the very end of one, you've got Anubis, and Anubis is it looks like Anubis is Zordanan from my own personal stories that came out of me when I was 5. Whole nother world. There's got this character in a cloak named Zordanan, and he's actually a weapon. This the Darkitect had put a spell on the Overlord's wife. She became pregnant, and she had this child and died. And the child is like a black mist. He's just like a spirit, but like a being. But the Overlord, Clendoran, had took him and balanced him out and raised him as his son. He didn't let that ride. Zordanan wasn't evil. It was just a being of spirit, and it was as if they transmuted his wife into Zordanan through the pregnancy. Some sort of something going on there. But she died, and it was supposed to crush the Overlord, but it did not. Her name was Attica, and that was what I called my wife. And in a way, that's like the Grail, the Holy Grail programming, because if they kill your beloved or remove them, it's like your assemblage point is pushed into your body, and you have a different sort of experience, because it's as if your love is dead, your beloved is gone in a way, and they have to either go inside of you, merge with you, or they're sacrificed or something fucked up in the Grail state. But it's a little more than that, I'm finding. I'm not finding that to be a permanent condition. And I try to reach out to my ex, because really she's not my ex, she's my wife. I don't know where she's going on, but like I said, I believe she's in a altered state because of some of this programming, and probably isn't even aware of my existence. Sort of shifted out of it. Now, the girl that I know that's in there that I married, and the girl that was in here in this very spot I'm in now, who had her boyfriend, Mr. Alfio, with a shotgun in his mouth, talking him down and up from suicide. That's not the girl I married. That's the entity that took her over. Now, I like to think some sort of exorcism could occur. I don't know where she's at. I don't know if she's happy, so I don't know if she's a prisoner. And you'd be like, "You're not Captain Save-A-Ho. You're not trying to. No, you misunderstand what I'm saying. I've been I've been with this woman in 5 other lifetimes as my wife. She's done some horrible things to me, but I've transmuted my do the horrible things to her into love, and I absolutely love her. And from my perspective, by being able to transmute the loss and love, because I don't know where she's at. She has my kids. I don't know where they're at. My son, with his birthday today, his name is Auroras, which is Horus the Elder, and her first boyfriend was Set, and he was not a good Set. He was been a perfect Set if you know your Egyptian history. And I already knew these things. You know, if your Osiris becomes the king of the dead, and he's reconfigured, if you look into that deeper, at least today when I do some Rudolf Steiner stuff, he starts to explain the role of the growth process for the dead. Obviously, I'm not dead, but by merging dead and alive and sort of operating in the ghost physics while still alive, the transformation will begin. It'll be the bringing together the life and the death by transforming it, by annihilating it in a way. It would cancel each other out in normal physics, but that's not really what's to happen. Anyone who knows that that's not really the case. God bless you all.